Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Oblong Polka Dots and my name is Kerr, and on this channel we talk about makeup, skincare, and beauty. So if that's something you're into, you've come to the right place. Today we are using the Natasha Denona Sunset Palette. It's this one right here. It does come with a mirror. It also comes with this piece of plastic that has the names of all the shades on it. So if you want to know what they are, you got to keep it, or you'll have to look them up online. But this is what the palette looks like. And I have no idea what kind of look I'm going to do. I just know that it's going to have to be quick because I'm getting ready for work. Since I'm not familiar with this palette, I'm not going to do my base first. I'm going to do my eyes first. So we're going to start off with this ColourPop shadow stick. This one is in the shade Plum Tart. I used one yesterday called Walnut Avenue, and I really liked the way that it turned out. So we're going to see if this one has the same vibe. We're using this as our base for our shadow. And we're going to put that all over the lid. This is very creamy. It's got a nice smooth application. Although I only wore it for a few hours yesterday, I did not see any creasing with Walnut Avenue, so that was pretty promising. We're just going to pull this out like this so we can get the shape that we want. And then we're going to go in with a brush and we're going to blend this out a little bit. So I have a fluffy brush sitting right here. We're just going to blend it some, just to blend the edges and pull it up a little bit. And then we're going to lay our shadow on top of it. We're just pulling this color out to the tip of the brow, right about here, so we can get that nice angle. We're looking for that almond shape. I think you can see that this is blending out smoothly. So it's not the kind of shadow stick that the moment you lay it down it's stuck. So you do have a little bit of malleability to be able to work with it. Ooh, my brush is shedding, you guys. Oh man. I really need to invest in some nice brushes. I just cannot bring myself to pull the trigger on those like rougher brushes or anything like that. That's like a mint. You literally are dropping a fortune to get some brushes, and I have been using Wet n Wild and e.l.f. brushes for years, so it's going to be hard to convince me to do that. So I'm going to try and stick with more of a brown kind of look, like a latte look, so to speak. And I'm going to start off with this shade right here. So I'm going to pop that on in the outer corner. If you've been to my channel before, you know that I do my shadow in a gradient. So the darkest being on the outer corner, all the way to the lightest being on the inner corner. And we're just using this shade to deepen up our outer corner. As is typical with Natasha Denona shadows, these ones run a little bit dry. So if you're looking for a comparison, you can compare this to Lorac. Lorac would be creamy, and then Natasha Denona, would be dry. Or you can even think of the Pat McGrath shadows as being a little more, they carry a little more humidity than the Natasha Denona. But I really love Natasha Denona's shadows because they are beautiful and they're easy to blend. So that's our outer corner. And then let's start bringing it in a little bit. We're going to use the same brush, but this time let's go in with this one right here. I'm not sure how much of a contrast I'm going to get between that color and the one I just laid down, but let's just see. So we're going to try going over it so it's overlapping. So I'm not seeing a lot of contrast, but that's okay. I can see a little. However, I do plan to go over this with one of the sparkly colors. So we're not going to see too much in the way of an awkward transition because it will blend seamlessly once we get one of those sparklier colors on top. Okay, so this is lighter. There is a contrast. It's just not as great a contrast as I thought it might be. Let's go in with this shade right here. This one. I'm going to try that out. See if we can keep this contrast game going. This is the lighter of them. So I'm going to try pulling this right into the corner. I do have some kickback in the pan, but that's like normal to me for Natasha Denona shadows. And then we're going to take that same light color that we're working with. We're going to pull this up a little bit further. Right here. We're going to fill that deeper gap. We still want to have our crease, but I always want to like bring that forward a little bit because I feel like my eyes are quite deep set. Okay, so this is what we have going on. It's a little bit muddy, so to speak. Let's see what we can do about the lid and bring this back to life a little bit. So maybe sticking with the same kind of theme we have going, let's try this shade right here. This is what it looks like on the brush. We're going to pop this in the center of the lid. And we're going to bring it forward. Just like that. So that did bring a little bit of life to the look. It did brighten it up some. I have to say that when I do reach for this palette again, I'm going to have to pick colors that are a little more higher contrasting. Because they do blend so well, it's almost like you can't picture the gradient. And I'm looking for that gradient finish. Okay. So that's what that looks like. And then also, I think I'm going to keep the palette out because I'm going to probably mirror the top and the bottom because this seems like this is that kind of look that will lend to that. So let's clean up any fallout that we have and we'll get the rest of the face going. Just a little bit of fallout. Not too much, but enough. Yeah, so let's all of it. It didn't go too far down either, so it just kind of stayed in the vicinity of the lower lash line. Okay, so for the face, we're going to go ahead with this primer from Maybelline. It's called Baby Skin. This is a primer I've used before. I bought this because I was trying to find something that was a good alternative to the Smashbox Photo Finish primer. And this one, I think, is the best one I found. They're not exactly the same, but they're close enough. I do believe that they both blur nicely, and that's really the effect that I'm going for. Just kind of like toning down some of the texture of my skin. And it has a lot of slip, so whatever foundation you do put on top of it, just make sure that it's not something so thin that it's going to fall off of your face. Okay. I definitely have worn this before by itself, but not today. Today we are actually going to put on top of it, where is it? So I'm going to go ahead and color correct first with the Milani Conceal and Perfect in number 4 Nectar. You guys have seen me use this before. We're using it to cancel out the gray that's underneath my eyes. It's hereditary, it's fine, but I don't necessarily want it peeking through my makeup, as I say probably every video. Same thing with the melasma. We're going to cover that up a little bit. Not cover it so much as neutralize it. I should say neutralize because it doesn't really cover. But we're just trying to cancel out or balance out some of that gray. We're just patting this in with a sponge. And then we're going to go into the complexion with the Beautycounter Dew Skin Tinted Moisturizer. This is in the shade number 7. I bought this because I saw that Monroe Steele uses it and she really enjoys it. So I thought I would give it a try. And I did wear it yesterday and I seem to like it a lot. So because it's a tinted moisturizer, it doesn't have a lot of coverage. So when you go to use this, you know, don't expect a ton of coverage. Just expect that it's going to kind of melt and blend in to your skin just to make things look a little more even. I would say that this does not have as much pigment as the like L'Oreal True Blend, the tinted serum. I would say this is a lighter, an even lighter version of that. But it does sit comfortably on the face. And once it dries down, it really doesn't feel like anything more than just a nice moisturizing skincare. That's kind of like what it feels like to me. Again, we're not going to get any coverage with this, so if you're looking for coverage, this is not the place. It's super duper sheer, but sometimes I want it to be sheer. Sometimes I just want my skin to look like skin. So for our concealer, we have this one from Pat McGrath. It is the, I cannot ever remember the name of this. It's the Skin Fetish Sublime Concealer. I have mine in the shade M21. I used this for the first time yesterday and discovered quickly that a little goes a long ways. So we're not going to use a ton like I did yesterday. We're just going to kind of dot that on there and see where it goes. This stuff is really pigmented. Like super duper. We have our same little sponge that we've been using. We're just going to pat this in. It does have a really yellow finish, which surprises me because when I went online to do the shade match, I didn't think it was this yellow. I thought it was closer to neutral. So I don't know if I need to pick a different shade or if this really is the shade for me. Let me know what you guys think. Kind of on the fence. I swear with Pat McGrath, I have no problem with her shadows, but the moment I get into her complexion products, the struggle is real. I can't figure it out. Like I bought that Sublime powder, the under eye powder, and I just could not get that to work for me. I don't know if I have the wrong shade or what, but it left sort of a gray cast. Can you see what I mean? Like how yellow this is? Is it me, you guys? Am I tripping? Am I just worried about nothing at all? Much ado about nothing for the Shakespeare fans out there. Probably. Or maybe, yeah, no, I think it's fine. I think I'm just tripping. Let me put some powder on, you guys, and stop worrying about it. So I'm going to grab my Ruby Kisses HD Set and Forget powder. There's only a tiny little bit of this left. I told you, I think in the last video, that I'm going to take this container and I'm going to fill it with my RCMA powder. Because the one that the RCMA powder comes in is not really conducive to like everyday use. It's not really meant for, I don't know what it's meant for. I think it's meant to be decanted. Oh my gosh, is that it, you guys? Come on. Come on. Just a little bit more. Oh man, yeah, I think that's it. I hope I can decant it in here. Let me grab another powder. This one's officially empty. If I can't decant it into this one, I think I have another container that I can use. Let's see. But come on. Ooh, girl, such a ruffian. This is the RCMA powder that I was trying to explain to you about. And the reason why you can't really use this like that is it comes with like a giant... Actually, I guess I could do this. Hold on. You know what? Problem solved. I just put a little bit in the lid, so I guess that's how we'll do it. And then I just have to be careful not to apply too much, like I just did. No, this is fine. We'll just do it this way. Alright, well, glad you guys could see in real time me trying to figure my life out. Ah, girl, absolute train wreck. Okay, so this RCMA No Color Powder is one that's used by professionals. This one. We're going to have to figure out a way for me to do this without making such a huge mess. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Move on. We're moving on now. Let's move on. Okay, so I have the Morphe blush. This is a blush balm, and it's the Sof-Focus cream blush in Mighty Mauve. I also wore this yesterday, and I loved it. I thought it was really pretty. So we're going to do it again today. I can open the container. Honestly, I had the same problem yesterday. Why can't I? Oh, that's why. Ah, train wreck. Okay, there we go. That's the shade. And then all I did was grab this little flat brush and just kind of put it in the pan and work it in from there. This blends in nicely. It is a balm for sure, but it's comfortable. And then we can go over this with our little sponge that we were just using to tone down the shade a little bit. This is comfortable. It feels like, I don't know how to describe it. It does feel like a balm, but it doesn't feel heavy. You know, it's not a balm like chapstick, like really balmy. I don't know. Did I shear this out enough, do you think? Is that too rosy? Or is it just right? Out here doing my Goldilocks, you guys. Trying to figure it all out. I think that's good. As you know, I love blush, so me going overboard with blush is normal. It's like, do that. Okay, let's finish this up. We have our little MAC pencil here. This is in the shade Spiked. You guys know that my eyebrows are tattooed, but I do grab for this pencil to fill sometimes. We're not going to fill today. We're just using the pencil to brush out the hairs so it's not so unruly. And then we are going to go in with our Milani Make It Last Peach Scented Setting Spray to set this whole face here. And while that's doing what it do, we're going to grab for this from Sephora. I will leave the actual description in the box, but this is number 76. And it is one of the lip creams. They're cream lip satins. These are really pigmented, so when you do wear them, start off with a little bit. They can be used as a lip liner. I was watching Nana's page and that's how she uses hers. Hold on, we're gonna clean this up. Give me a second. I wanted something that was a little bit light, but I'm thinking maybe I needed to throw on a... Do I not have one over here? I sure don't. I think I need to throw on a liner to go with this. But I feel like I've worn it before without a liner. When these dry, they are like drying. So if you have dry lips, then you might want to grab for something to like moisturize your lips, or just make sure that when you go to put this on, that you don't have any like dead skin, like exfoliate first, basically. Let's grab Chestnut and deepen this up a little bit. Maybe I did line this before and I completely forgot. I must have, because this definitely looks better with the liner. You can see that. Do you guys ever do that trick where you do like more liner on the outside, like deeper, and then just let the middle, like that ombre? I like that look. Okay, so yes. This is definitely a lip for me that I have to wear with a liner. And now that it's dried down, I think you can see what I mean, like how quickly it dries. So again, just keep that in mind. And then we're going to do a quick mirroring because I got to get out of here. Grabbing this flat brush, we're just going to go in with some of those same colors that we used on the top for the bottom, just to connect. Right here. And then let's go in with this one. And that's it. See how it's nice to like mirror the top and the bottom? I really feel like when I do that, it brings a really nice finished look to the shadow. And then for my liner, didn't really pick a liner today. I just wasn't sure what to put on here. I think maybe I'll just use the shadow. I'm gonna use the shadow. Let me grab a brush. We're gonna use a flat brush and we're gonna go back into the palette and we're gonna use a shadow as a liner. And we're just running this along the lash line. Okay. And now the finishing touch. Let's go in with this mascara from Fenty. It's the Hella Thick. I've been loving this lately. It's so much fun. It's like my favorite mascara right now. I like the wand too, because it's not too big. A little more. You really can get away with one coat, but sometimes I like to do the most. And by sometimes, I mean all the time with mascara. I think I always end up using at least 2 coats. And then we'll do the bottom. And that's it. That's the look, you guys. It's a sunset palette, so a sunset look. Yes, I do like this palette. Yes, I do recommend it. I think the colors are right up my alley. They're nice and neutral. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.